Education is the only tool to transform the world, and NEP 2020 is a way forward to bring the succession in the country by following 5 E's: engage, explore, experience, express, and excel. A very pleasant afternoon, one and all connected here. I feel very delighted to welcome you all for the keynote session 5 on preparedness of NEP 2020 implementation. Right now, it's my privilege and honor to welcome the keynote speaker of this session, Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean of the Faculty of Commerce and Management, who is highly skilled and very adroit at admin. We wholeheartedly welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Gopakumar A.V., Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, who is very determined and committed person and also a leading expert in the field of journalism. Dear sir, hearty welcome. I also welcome all the participants who add real meaning to this conference. Hearty welcome, dear participants. Let me take this opportunity to introduce the keynote speaker, Dr. Aloysius Edward. Dr. Aloysius Edward is a Dean of the Faculty of Commerce and Management and the Director of Internal Quality Assurance Cell in Kristu Jayanti College, Bengaluru. His unique skill and knowledge have made him receive umpteen unparalleled awards like ACBSPS Teaching Excellence Award in 2018 at USA, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Lifetime Achievement Award from International Institute for Social and Economic Reforms, Principal Excellence Award from Gujarat Chapter of Higher Education, and Best Teacher Award from St. Joseph's College Society in 1999. One of the significant papers he has presented is on Systemization of Internal Quality Assurance System, a case study of Kristu Jayanti College in International Conference on Quality Assurance Foundation for Future in Spain, organized by INQAHE in April 2011. He is also serving as an external examiner of University of West of Scotland and a member of BOS and BOA in Bangalore University, Christ University, Mount Carmel College, and Symbiosis University, Pune are priceless feathers to his crown. Moreover, he has visited more than 15 countries for the academic collaboration and gaining exposure. He has more than 3 decades of teaching and corporate experience, and Dr. Edward is a powerhouse of knowledge, wisdom, dynamism, and humanism, and he charts a map of the college by making differences in its outlook and achieving the vision of the college. It is really a great honor to eagerly wait for listening to your fruitful words of inspiration, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Winnie ma'am, for this wonderful introduction. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. From since July 2019-2020, the NEP got approved in Parliament. All the higher education institutions at the state government level, central government level, we have been organizing various national webinars because we could not organize offline conferences. So we have organized various, every institution is having pride of organizing various national, international webinar, national, international conferences on NEP 2020 challenges, opportunities. So all these buzzwords like 4-year degree program, multiple entry and exit options, flexibility in learning, higher flexibility, multidisciplinarity program, skilling, value education, all these buzzword we have seen and we have heard so many times. And even during, in our institution also in September, we had organized a national conference on NEP. And then today we look at, yesterday and today, we look at how the higher education institutions can strive forward in implementing this NEP 2020. As in this, I'm not, we, myself and my co-presenter, Dr. Gopakumar, we are not part of any NEP implementation committee. We were not part of any NEP draft committee. So as an outsider, as a teacher, we both of us, we have formulated a NEP committee, implementation committee in our institution. Dr. Gopakumar is striving for that. So we as an institution, as a teacher, how we look at this NEP implementation in colleges. So we teachers are the major stakeholder of higher education, as all of us know. So as a teacher point of view, so how this NEP can take forward as an institution, as a teacher, as a student, how that this NEP implementation can benefit all the major stakeholders. So that is what the entire discussion is about. So it is not our own opinion. It is not a final thing that we are discussing. It's our own opinion that we are sharing. So we can have a joint deliberation towards the end of the session. So the overview of the entire session goes like this. We look at what are the major factors which determine the NEP implementation and how this NEP is implemented at state government level, federal government level. This is our own view on implementation. We present before you an electric model of NEP implementation in colleges. So this electric model does not pass any electricity or any current to the human body. So this model can help the colleges to implement this NEP in different colleges. So EL stands for effective leadership. So how leadership plays a pivotal role. And we have seen the first session yesterday, Professor Ritikesh has given a broad view on the governance structure, the leadership structure changes after the NEP is getting implemented. And equity plays a pivotal role in NEP entire document. So how higher education institutions provide the avenue for equity and inclusion. C stands for very important aspect of NEP implementation is curriculum and assessment reforms. So C stands for curriculum and assessment reforms as an affiliating college or as an autonomous college. So how autonomous college or affiliating college can implement all the framework changes in respect to curriculum in the colleges. T stands for teacher profession development. Teacher is the center of NEP document 2020. So without a teacher, there is no NEP document 2020. So we play a pivotal role in NEP implementation. So how the teachers are going to be highly developed. Another T stands for technology upgradation. I mean, previous session, Professor Narsimulu also has thrown a light on various technological changes, technological development that is going to take place. By 2030, we may encounter robots in our own offices or in our own homes. R stands for research thrust. So a lot of thrust is being given on research in NEP 2020. I stands for developing infrastructural facilities in the colleges. And last one, C stands for consolidation. So it is our own point of view and how this model can help our autonomous colleges and affiliating colleges in implementing this NEP in our own institution. And towards the end, let us look at what are the various challenges while we implement NEP 2020. Let us look at, as we have seen in the current period, the world is undergoing a rapid change, the knowledge landscape, with the various dramatic scientific and technological advances such as rise of big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all the industry 4.0 technologies. Many unskilled jobs worldwide may take over by machine, while the need for skilled workforce, particularly involving mathematics, computer science, and data science in connection with multidisciplinary capabilities across the sciences, social sciences, and humanities will be increasingly in greater demand. So the gap between the current state of learning outcomes and what is required must be bridged through various major reforms that bring the highest quality, equity, and integrity into the system, from childhood care education and education through higher levels of education. So the National Education Policy 2020 envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos and Indian culture that contributes directly to transforming India sustainably in into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all and thereby making an India as knowledge powerhouse. So in today's age of knowledge-led economy, developing human capital to drive India's next wave of socio-economic growth is very, very critical. So the key objectives of NEP 2020 are reforms in curriculum, universalization of early childhood education, national mission for foundational literacy, accreditation should shift focus from inputs to outcomes, and changes in governance structure. As all of us know, NEP is not a policy, but it is a vision, but it is a mission. So the millions of parents and educators around the country have deep-rooted and extremely outdated the mental models of what education should be. Assumptions like rote learning works, examinations and the competitions are must even at young age. We should follow one book, examinations result equal intellect. We all did with this kind of education, and we are going through this kind of education system. So these are all the barriers to change. So there is a need for change and to invest in curriculum, structures and practices that rehumanize and rebuild our ailing education system. So the success of the policy depends on four important factors. The success of the policy depends on four important factors. One, teacher preparation. How teachers are being prepared towards the implementation of NEP 2020. Two, overall investment by the government and by the private agencies and private institutions. Three, opening up of the sector. And four, improve the assessment and reduce stake up in examination, stake on examination. So that's what even Professor Narasimhalu was stressing upon, how the examination pattern need to be changed. The way in which we look on the examination need to be changed. So one, teacher preparation. NEP 2020 acknowledges that no reform will work unless the teacher is brought to a central stage. So the center document, the center of the entire NEP document is the teacher. So theory and practice must go hand in hand, and using every good classroom and every good teacher to make more teachers. So every good classroom and every good teacher to make more teachers. So teacher play a pivotal role in implementing NEP 2020. The second important factor is greater overall investment. The total financial requirement for India to reach SDG 4, Sustainable Development Goal 4, that emphasis on quality education. SDG 4 emphasis on quality education. By 2030, averages $173 billion per year, far exceeding the current government budget of $76.4 billion for education. So we need to invest more in education. So the Sustainable Development Targets for 2030 calls for ensuring completion of primary and secondary education by all boys and girls, and guaranteeing equal access to opportunities for success to quality technical and vocational education to everyone. So a quality education is the foundation for sustainable development and therefore of the Sustainable Development Goals. So as a policy intervention, education is a force multiplier which enables self-reliance, boost economic growth by enhancing skills, and improves people's lives by opening up the opportunities for better livelihoods. When you look at the average expenditure by our government is about 24,000 to 30,000 per child per annum, whereas average education expenditure in the US is about $13,000 per annum. Of course, our country GDP cannot be compared with the GDP of US, but this need to be improved upon. The overall investment and education need to be improved upon. The third important factor is the opening of the sector. It is obvious that the government won't be able to invest to to the required levels and would need significant private participation. So NEP 2020 opens up investments across the globe. That's what we discussed in the morning first session. Professor Philip Lade talks about how the international universities can have an opportunity to access in the Indian market. The strategies for streamlining the overseas investment is a prominent factor. How these overseas investment is going to be streamlined is another important factor for this NEP implementation. Fourth important factor for NEP implementation is improve the assessment and reduce the stake on examination. The broader outlook on examination system is to be changed as a teacher. So a lot of emphasis is given on the change in examination models. So examination in our country seem to be all and end of all the education process. So when we look at the outcome of any particular program, we look at only the final result, that is an examination result. So NEP 2020 stresses upon the holistic way of evaluation of the performance of students. A student who scores 90% is not seen as lesser than a student who scores 98%. A student who scores 90% is seen as a lesser than a student who scores 98%. So the success of NEP 2020 depends on the integration of mindset of all the stakeholders, including teachers, on the examination pattern and the examination mode. So in this background, we wish to present to you how this implementation of NEP 2020 can take it forward. Yeah. So since independence, when you look at, we don't fail to plan, but we fail to implement the plan. Since independence, we have got a lot of policies from Kothari Commission on higher education, Arkat Mudaliar Commission on higher education, then Mandal Commission, all those policies we came to know, but we failed to implement the plan. So both center and state government have made strenuous efforts for the efficient implementation of NEP 2020. So that is the central task force on implementation of NEP 2020. At central government level, there's a task force on implementation of NEP 2020 that has been formed the last week of September. So that committee is yet to give their own paper, their own report. And there is already the NEP 2020 talks about the establishment of a single regulator, and all the regulatory system is going to be changed through the establishment of National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, accreditation agency, assessment and accreditation agency. And then we have a General Education Council and Higher Education Grants Council and professional standard setting boards. So all these bodies are becoming the regulatory system. So central task force on implementation of NEP 2020 makes the report on how these regulatory bodies are going to function and how these existing regulatory bodies are going to be merged. So all this central task force on implementation of NEP 2020, we are yet to get the report from the central task force on implementation of 2020. And then state level task force on implementation of NEP 2020, it is being formed. Many state governments have formed the task force. The Karnataka state government task force on implementation of NEP 2020 has formed the first week of August itself, and they have submitted their report to the Chief Minister on November 30, 2020. The statement of the Karnataka state is proud to announce the first state to form the committee and the first state to present the report to the Chief Minister on the implementation of NEP 2020. So all the higher education institutions may adhere to the guidelines of task force on implementation of NEP 2020 at the institution level. So at the institution level, we may get proper guidelines from the center and from the state task force, we may get the guidelines and how this NEP is going to be implemented at the institutional level or at the college level. So we are given 10-year window. So we are given 10-year window as per the document for the proper implementation of NEP 2020. So by 2030, we may get, the complete NEP document may be implemented by 2030. So all the institutions are given a 10-year time period for us to get geared up, and then we get implemented at the institutional level. So it is our own model that we are talking about. Yeah. This one, our own electric model of NEP 2020 in colleges. EL stands for effective leadership. E stands for equity and inclusion. C stands for curriculum and assessment reforms. T stands for teacher professional development. Another T stands for technology upgradation, and R stands for research trust, and I stands for infrastructure facilities, and C stands for consolidation. So at the institution level, what we recommend is at the institution level, as the central and state government level, they have appointed their own state government level or central government level task force on implementation of NEP 2020. So at the institution level, we need to form our own task force on implementation of NEP 2020 at its own institution level, at our own college level. So these committee, the task force on implementation of NEP 2020 at the institution level, will have to study all these 8 parameters. So these 8 parameters are important components of NEP document, and that will help the institution to implement this NEP 2020. In turn, that will help the institution to achieve its excellence, to sustain and enhance its excellence. So at the institution level, once we appoint this task force on implementation of NEP 2020, this committee can look at all these 8 parameters and how the changes in governance structure and how the equity and inclusion policies can be incorporated, and how the major change in curriculum can be incorporated at institutional level, and how the teachers are being trained and oriented about NEP 2020. So all the teachers need to be oriented about NEP 2020 and its document. And of course, all the teachers might have undergone various webinars and various national webinars. Is there any exclusive session for our own teachers on NEP 2020? That we need to look at, and how the technology can be upgraded and restructured in order to cope up with the changes in the industry, and how the research contributions can be enhanced by looking at the funds which has been going to created under the National Research Foundation, and how the infrastructural facilities can be enhanced. And the very important aspect is how we are going to be consolidated. All of us might have known how this, after the implementing, so only 3 levels of institution is going to come. So where our institution is going to fit in. So that type of consolidation, how we are going to finalize. So this task force committee can help the institution to come out with these strategies and policies in implementing NEP 2020 in their own institutions, and thereby enhancing and sustaining excellence at the institutional level. Let us look at the first parameter of the institutional excellence. One is there is electric model of implementation. There is effective leadership and governance. Professor Ritikesh has given a proper dimensions towards the effective leadership and governance. As autonomous colleges, all the autonomous colleges have governing body and academic council. All the autonomous colleges have got a governing body and academic council, and these members members of this governing body and academic council are nominated by different regulatory bodies. For example, we have a UGC nominee in governing body. We have a university nominee in our own autonomous college governing body, and we have state government nominee in our own autonomous college governing bodies, and we have the university nominees in the academic council. So these bodies are going to be revamped and restructured into another format as per the NEP document. It is called Board of Governors. So these Board of Governors constitute the comprises of high qualified, competent, dedicated individuals having proven capabilities and a strong sense of commitment to the institution. So these members are being nominated by the central external expert committee, and the external expert committee will appoint these Board of Governors, which will replace the governing body of the autonomous colleges. So this Board of Governors shall be responsible and accountable for the outcome of higher education institution and will meet the regulatory guidelines of National Higher Education Regulatory Authority. So which will be a single regulator of all the higher education institutions in our country. So these Board of Governors will anchor the preparation and implementation of our own strategic plan action that is called Institutional Development Plan. So every institution may have today the institutional perspective plan. For a 10-year plan, we may have 5-year plan, and we may have a 2-year plan. So these Board of Governors will help the institution to devise these institutional development plan, and on the basis of this plan, the institution will develop initiatives, assess their progress, and reach the goal set. So the leadership structure in autonomous college may change when this NEP is going to be implemented at the institution level. So as an institution, are we ready for that? Are we ready for taking up this kind of leadership change at the institution level? That point, the task force committee need to look upon. The second important electric model, E stands for equity and inclusion. A lot of emphasis is given on equity and inclusion policies in NEP document. Equitable access to quality education with special emphasis on socially and economically underdeveloped groups. They are called underrepresented groups. And efforts will be made to incentivize these meritorious students belonging to the category students. So the National Scholarship Portal will be expanded to support, foster, and rank track the students of these students who are receiving this scholarship. The point here is, as per the document, 25% to 100% of scholarship must be given to at least half of the students in the private higher education institutions. So that is a challenge for the private higher education institutions, and how far we meet these particular standard which is being set in the NEP document. That is, half of the students should get minimum of 25% to 100% scholarship. So now the institution may have an institutional fee waiver besides the government scholarship. Besides the government scholarship, the institutions may have institutional fee waiver or institutional concession. But how far we meet this particular standard as a institution, we need to look at. Then another important aspect in the implementation part is the curriculum and assessment reforms. So in the ethical model, the C stands for curriculum and assessment reforms. As all of us know, we have seen document, and we have gone through the document, and we have attended various webinars and sessions on how this curriculum is going to be changed. So the curriculum must be interesting, and it must be relevant, as we have discussed in the morning session. It must be relevant and updated regularly to all the stakeholders with the latest knowledge requirements and to meet the specified learning outcomes. So high quality pedagogy is then necessary to successfully impart the curricular material to the students. So the assessment method must be scientific, designed to continuously improve the learning and to test the application of knowledge. So in order to promote creativity, The higher education institutions and faculty will have the autonomy to innovate the matters of curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment within a broad framework of higher educational qualification framework that ensures the consistency across institution and programs. The current choice-based credit system need to be revised. The current existing choice-based credit system needs to be revised to instill the innovation and flexibility. So the undergraduate program, as we have seen in the NEP document, shall be structured in a semester mode with the multiple exit and entry options, with the certification after 1 year with the 48 credits, and diploma with the 96 credits, and basic bachelor's degree with 144 credits after the completion of first, second, and third year respectively. So NEP document, I mean, this particular structure may change from the state government to state government. This is our own understanding that we have put forward, but it may change at the state government level. So we looked at 24 credits in a semester. So 24 credits into 8 semesters, it comes to 192 credits. So the 4-year bachelor's degree may have 192 credits, having 24 credits in a semester. So the candidates who completes a 4-year UG program, 192 credits, 24 credits in a semester at one stretch, or through multiple entry and exit re-entry, as it is visualized in the NEP document, will get a bachelor's degree with honors. So 4-year UG honors degree holders with a suitable grade will be eligible to enter doctoral PhD program in a relevant discipline, or a 2-semester master degree program with the project work. So candidates who wish to enter the master's PhD program in discipline other than the major discipline studied in the UG program have to undergo an additional courses, the new discipline, to meet the requirements. So a lot of flexibilities we have seen in the NEP document. So it is our own vision, but it may vary from one state government guidelines to another state government guidelines. So there may be parallel 5-year integrated program. So as of now, we have a 4-year, 5-year law integrated program. So parallelly, there may be 5-year integrated master's program with the exit options at the completion of the 3rd and 4th years, with a UG basic degree and UG honors degree in a respective discipline respectively. So keeping in mind, as an institution, as an autonomous college, or as the affiliating college, are we ready to come up with a proper curriculum structure that is being envisioned in the NEP document? That as an institution, we need to look at the task force committee at the institution level that need to look at. At the same time, the student can choose subject combination across the streams. It's mentioned in the NEP document. It's highly mentioned because NEP talks about the higher flexibility. The student can choose a major in mathematics, and combine the minor with the political science or music or sports. So one of the discipline can also be a vocational subject. So as we have seen yesterday afternoon session, vocational education will be integrated in the mainstream of education in a phased manner based on the skill gap analysis and mapping of all the local opportunities. As Professor Narasimhalu was mentioning in the morning session, at least 40% of the total courses need to be focused on vocational education and skill development courses. So skills shall be explicitly integrated, highly visible, taught in the context, and have explicit assessment. The skills can include abilities in language and communication, working in diverse teams, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and data analysis. So life skills also should be given a proper importance with the personality development, communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. So students shall be given options to choose courses from the basket of courses. That's what we talked about, the cafeteria approach, which the institution is capable of offering. So there shall be no rigidity of the combination of subjects. So lot amount of flexibility need to be given. So as an institution level, how are we going to design our curriculum? So as a central level or the state level, we may receive the guidelines to form the curriculum. But as an institution, we need to come out with our own curriculum, which caters to all these needs: vocational education, skill development education, life skill education, 4-year program, multiple entry, multiple exit options, and having academic credit bank. That's what we have. So it's a digitally, the credits can be stored and we can receive that. It's not beyond our reach. So at the central level, that's taken care. So as an institution level, how are we devising our curriculum to suit the needs of, to meet the needs of the NEP 2020 document? So this is our own structure. So most of the autonomous colleges may have this kind of structure currently, but we need to look at how this can be reorganized, restructured to meet the current, to implement the NEP 2020. So we have language. So languages provide the medium of fresh and free thinking and expression, clarity in thought and speech. So a lot of emphasis is given on languages in the NEP 2020 document. So foundation course, or we call it as the ability enhancement course, AEC. Foundation course, or we call it the ability enhancement course. So these courses enable the students to develop a deeper sense of commitment to oneself and to society and the nation largely. And skill development courses, that's what we talk about morning. So 40% course, that's what he was stressing upon. 40% courses need to be integrated as skill development courses or vocational courses, because all the vocational courses will be part of the mainstream. So these skill development courses are to promote the skills relating to the particular field of study. The purpose of these courses is to provide the students life skills, hands-on mode, so as to increase employability, self-employment. So the objective is to integrate discipline-related skills in a holistic manner with the general education. The fourth aspect is the discipline-based introductory course. So currently we may not have a discipline-based, discipline-based introductory course. So this particular course we need to think of. So when we go for higher level course, so a basic course, a 2-credit course, a 3-credit course, at the institution level, we need to think of. So these introductory courses bridge the gap for a student if he or she has not got a basic groundwork on a particular area of discipline. Then major discipline core courses already we have in our own curriculum, already we have that, we need to continue. And major discipline elective courses already we have in our curriculum that need to be continued. So these elective courses is a course which can be chosen from a pool of courses and which may be vary from specific or specialized or advanced or supportive to discipline or subject of study, which provides an extended scope or enable as an exposure to some other disciplines. So already we have, so that need to be continued. And then we need to come out with the plan for how we can introduce the minor discipline courses. So in the state of Karnataka, all the undergraduate programs are triple major, So we have already those courses, so we can integrate. And some state governments may not have a triple major courses. So we need to think of a minor discipline courses to be integrated in the mainstream. So minor discipline is secondary specialization that one may choose to pursue in addition to the major discipline. So they may be related areas of studies or two distinct areas of studies which are not interrelated as well. So a student who is studying mathematics can take up political science. A student who is taking history can take up statistics. So such kind of model we need to think of. Then these GE courses, generic elective courses, we have already in our own curriculum itself, we have, so that need to be continued. So generic elective courses are chosen from unrelated discipline, subject with an intention to seek exposure beyond the discipline of choice. So the purpose of these courses is to offer the students that option to explore the discipline of interest beyond the choices they make in core and discipline specific elective courses. And then some programs may have a project work or dissertation. Some programs may not have, but NEP 2020 emphasis on project work in every program. So that as an institution, we need to look upon. So most of the postgraduate programs have project work. Some of the undergraduate programs may not have. So those programs, we need to come out with the proper model for integrating project work. So project work is considered a special course involving application of knowledge in solving, analyzing, exploring a real life situation, different problems, and data analysis. So now the last aspect is how we can integrate co-curricular and extension activities in the curriculum. Already we have some institutions may have, we call it as the NCCC, non-CGPA credit courses. So those non-CGPA credit courses need to be integrated by integrating online courses as well. So these activities help in character building, spiritual growth, physical growth, and they facilitate the development of various domains of mind and personality, such as intellectual, emotional, social, moral, and aesthetic developments. Creativity, enthusiasm, and positive thinking are some of the facets of personal development and the outcome of these activities. So these are all an important aspect the NEP 2020 talks about, which talks about the multidisciplinary courses. So all these aspects can be integrated in the curriculum. So as an institution, how we are going to integrate all these courses in our curriculum and make it the required number of credit a student should have after completing the 3-year program and after completing the 4-year program. So the institution level implementation committee can work on all this curriculum aspect once we receive a proper guidelines from the state government. So unless we receive the guidelines from state government, we cannot proceed. So these are all our own thought that we have at the institution level. So it is not it's not a government guidelines. It's our own thought at the institution level how this can be integrated in our own curriculum. So once we receive the state government guidelines, we at the institution level we can work on, and then we can take it forward. And when you look at the assessment reforms, so a lot of emphasis is given on assessment and evaluation, which is an important factor in implementing the NEP 2020 that as we have discussed earlier. So student assessment should be as comprehensive as possible and provide meaningful and constructive feedback. So the process of assessment should be carried on in a manner that encourages better student participation and rigorous study. As we have discussed in the morning, as Professor Narasimhan was mentioning, instead of having a final examination, every unit may have a test. First unit can have a unit test, second unit to have an assignment, third unit can have the seminar work, fourth unit have one test, and fifth unit can have project work or minor project. So this is how the continuous assessment can be made. So how, as a teacher, we can accept these kind of mode. First of all, teacher, we need to accept all this kind of mode, and we need to take it forward. And when we take it forward, what is more important is our objectivity, how we are objective in evaluating the students' performance, because most of the time we talk about the fair system of evaluation. So assessment should be in a combination of continuous formative evaluation and endpoint summative evaluation. Each may have 50% weightage, and at the beginning they may not give us this kind of flexibility to provide 100% continuous evaluation. They may have some kind of ceiling. They may have some kind of set criteria to keep 50-50 or 60-40. Now currently the government of Karnataka, in all the colleges in Karnataka, we follow 30-70. So it may be enhanced to 50-50 and then 60-40, and later on it may be to the completely is given to the teacher. The teacher who takes a course has to evaluate the performance of the students. So a range of tools and process for assessment should be used in addition to the standard paper pencil test. So how an activity can be integrated to evaluate the student's performance. So why should we go for always the written test? So how the activity can be integrated to evaluate the performance of a student. So faculty to provide options for a student to improve his or her performance in the continuous assessment mode. So continuous internal assessment shall be shown separately. A candidate who has failed or wants to improve the result shall retain the internal assessment marks provided he or she fulfills the minimum requirements. So these are all our own viewpoints, but this may change once we receive the guidelines from the respective the state government. Then the fourth important aspect that we need to look at in the electric model of NEP implementation is teacher professional development. The T stands for teacher professional development. Teacher is a central stage of NEP document, 2020 document. And we may, institutional level, we need to organize the teacher staff orientation on NEP 2020. Most of the teachers might have undergone the courses, undergone the national webinars or international webinars, but what about the administrative staff? So administrative staff need to be oriented about this NEP 2020, and special sessions for institutional level task force implementation of NEP 2020. So we may constitute institutional level task force implementation, special sessions for all these teachers who are involved in implementing NEP 2020. We can organize the sessions, and faculty will be given freedom to design their own curriculum and pedagogical approaches within the approved framework, and how the teachers need to be trained towards designing the particular course. Because so far we need to, we blame the university blames the colleges, but once the NEP 2020 is getting implemented, we cannot blame each other. So we are becoming accountable with a lot of autonomy. So we institutions are becoming accountable with a lot of autonomy. So we cannot blame third party. So we are accountable for our own actions that we take. So how we design, how the teachers are being trained on designing every course with a lot of, with the outcome, course objectives, course outcome and syllabi, and then followed by the proper references. And then there must be a provision for continuous professional development, the training program that we need to organize at the institutional level. And at the institutional level, as we have seen in the NEP 2020, so there is no college concept. There is no affiliating college. There is no affiliating college concept is going to move away. So every institution is becoming a self-sustained university, self-sustained institution. So as an institution, how are we going to develop our staff, both teaching and administrative staff? So we need to create institution level HRD center, Human Resource Development Center, for providing these training programs for teachers and administrative staff, and national international fellowships for advanced studies that need to be encouraged. A fast track promotion system for recognizing very high impact research and contribution to the teachers who come out with the high impact research paper. So those teachers need to be recognized with the proper rewards and promotion. And of course, every institution may have a staff welfare schemes, so that need to be enhanced to boost the morale of our staff. So the teacher profession development and the staff profession development is an important component in NEP implementation at the institutional level. Then another T in electric model, T stands for technology upgradation. So dear participants, as we have seen in every session, we have seen technology plays a pivotal role. We are talking about robots, machine learning, data analysis, vertical integration, and horizontal integration. So what we teach today in the classroom may not be relevant 5 years down the line. So what we teach in the classroom may not be relevant 10 years down the line. So we are preparing the graduates for jobs which are not available today. We are preparing graduates for jobs which are not available today. The jobs which were available in 2010 are not available in 2020. The jobs which are available in 2020 may not be available in 2030. So what is more important is how we build that technological infrastructure in the institution. So a thrust of technological intervention will be the purpose for improving teaching, learning, and evaluation process. So National Educational Alliance for Technology is created to provide a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, and administration. So the NEET is already being discussed in the NEP document. So the NEET will be created to provide a platform for free exchange of ideas. So variety of educational software will be developed and made available for students at all levels. So new technologies evolving, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart modes, all these need to be upgraded at the institution level, and the adequate training need to be provided to teachers for using all these technologies. So software will be available in all major languages and will be accessible to students in remote areas and with disabilities. So technology-based educational platforms, as we have seen today, such as Diksha and Swayam, will be better integrated across schools and higher education. So as we move on, in our higher education, we need to develop a proper digital infrastructure to integrate a technology development at the institutional level. The sixth important criteria under the electric model is research thrust. So a lot of emphasis is given in the NEP 2020 document. So as an institution, how we tap these resources from National Research Foundation. So National Research Foundation will be established for funding outstanding and peer-reviewed research, facilitate research in higher education institutions, licensing between researchers and government as well as industry, and recognizing outstanding research and progress achieved via National Research Foundation. So competitive fund under research for four major divisions: science, social sciences, technology, arts and humanities. So how our teachers need to be trained to write proposals and to tap the resources from the National Research Foundation. So research focus areas of national development: clean air and water, sanitation, healthcare, infrastructure development, and improved transportation. So these are all major areas of research, and teachers need to be trained to write research proposals for getting the research funds. So develop active research communities across disciplines within the institutional level and increase resource efficiency, both material, human, across higher education. So include research and internship in undergraduate curriculum. Create faculty career management system with a due weightage to research, because research and the career management need to be integrated. The higher the research output, there must be a fast track for promotion. So that need to be linked so that we get a better research output from the institution level. So NRF, National Research Foundation, will consider three-pronged research. One is advanced core artificial intelligence research, developing and deploying application-based research, establishing international research efforts to address global challenges in areas such as healthcare, agriculture, and climate changes. So as we have seen in the NEP document, public investment in education sector to reach 6% of GDP at the earliest from the current level of 4.43% of GDP. So we spent only 4.43% of GDP. So this percentage need to be enhanced to 6% of the GDP. So a lot of thrust is given on research. So as an institution level, we need to develop our faculty to get funding from National Research Foundation. So in the electric model, the seventh important parameter at the institution level is creating infrastructural facilities. I stands for creating infrastructure facilities. So every higher education institution must have essential infrastructure. That is modern digital enabled classrooms, library learning resources, including e-resources, adequate laboratory facilities with the modern equipment, digital infrastructure and Wi-Fi facility in the campus, free remote access to library anywhere the student can access the library. So there must be an integrated library management system in the institution level. Facilities for cultural and sports and games facilities, activities, and incubation. Incubation is an important component in NEP 2020 to create startup ecosystem at the institution level. Automated offices, clean drinking water and sanitation facilities, inclusive campus, facilities for disabled students, trust for green campus and initiating green audit initiatives, and optimal student ratio. Optimal student ratio, I mean, teacher-student ratio is, it will vary from one program to another program, but the institution should maintain optimal student-teacher ratio. So important parameter when we go for implementing NEP 2020 is to create an ecosystem for all the stakeholders to achieve excellence at all levels. The last parameter and the electric model for NEP implementation is consolidation. The how we are going to consolidate ourselves. As we have seen in different forum on NEP 2020, the definition of university will allow spectrum of institution that ranges from research intensive universities, which ranges between 10 and 20%, teaching intensive universities, which is about 60 to 70%, and the remaining colleges, institutions will become autonomous degree awarding or degree granting institutions. So only we may find 10 years down the line, 2030, so we may find only 3 different types of higher educational institutions, and our institution is going to where we are going to link ourselves as in a constant, because constituent colleges will remain, because colleges cannot, as we have discussed yesterday morning, we have a small number of large institutions. Our country has got small number of large institutions in this 46,000 plus colleges, and all these need to be consolidated under 3 different levels. And how are we going to consolidate ourselves at the institution level? So that we need to look upon. So as a committee at the institution level, so we need to look upon and how are we going to fit ourselves in a 3 different levels of institution. So model public universities for holistic educations at par with IITs, IIMs, and IIITs will be set up and will aim to attain higher standards for multidisciplinary education across India. So this, we don't come into picture. These are all central government funded institution. The system of affiliation will be phased out completely. There may not be any affiliating university 10 years down the line. So in a professional education, no new standalone institution will be permitted except the specific fields as a national needs. As we have IIMs and IIT, that will continue. So because they are all standalone institutions, that will continue, but no new further standalone institutions which deals with a particular specific field. So are we ready for the consolidation? As an institution, are we ready for this kind of consolidation? As an institution, we need to ponder upon. So with this model of implementation at the institution level, we present before you certain few challenges that we come across to conclude our presentation. So challenges before us: 1, policy implementation will require multiple initiatives and actions which will have to be taken by multiple bodies in a synchronized and systematic manner. So every state government has made a state government level task force on implementation of NEP 2020. Already Karnataka's government has submitted its report, and every state government is making this report, and how this report need to be synchronized at the central task force expectation. We don't know what is central task force expectation guidelines. So how these need to be synchronized, that is the big challenge. So at the state, so we need to wait and watch and how these are coming to a complete picture. So there will be an increased operational challenges in the implementation of the policy, because we are talking about 4-year course, and we are talking about minor disciplinary options, and then we are talking about multiple entry and exit options, and how are we going to integrate, and we are talking about academic credit bank. So all this, how are we going to getting implemented? That's another important challenge that we may come across. And teaching multidisciplinary courses in the multiple Indian languages. Of course, in higher education, we focus on only one language, but integration of major and minor courses and translation of these courses in the content in multiple Indian languages will pose challenges, because our country is rich in languages. We are rich in our own culture, and internet connectivity and power disruptions pose challenges for online teaching, learning, assessment, because we talk about we are the highest number of internet users in the world. We have 660 million users of internet in the world. We have the cheapest data. We have the cheapest data in the world. Cheapest data in the world. And still we have penetrated only 20%. Our internet penetration is only 20%. So how are we going to take up these particular challenges, where the teachers, students who are in remote areas, how are they going to be connected through online mode of education? and keeping pace with the changing technologies and industry institutional requirements pose challenges in planning, implementation, and maintenance of digital infrastructure, because technology plays pivotal role. And how are we going to build that digital infrastructure at the institution level when 5G comes in 2024? And disruptive technologies will make many of the jobs redundant, and there will be a mismatch the skill imported in the institutional education institution jobs available, because technology is going to change by 2024 or by 2025, 5 years down the line. The jobs which are available today may not be available the 5 years down the line. The skill set required 5 years down the line is entirely different. So how are we going to bridge this gap? What is required and what is expected and what is available? And status of affiliating colleges need to be worked out at the state level, because affiliating system is going to be phased out. And how are they going to work out the complete affiliating system? There's another challenge, another operation challenge that we are going to foresee. And international universities setting up the campus in the country that we have seen. International universities can come to a country and set up their own campuses. And what is their regulatory system and how this fee is going to be fixed? So these are all an important challenge that we may foresee, we may see in the near future. So these are all the challenges that we encounter while we implement the NEP 2020. So with this, we thank all the participants for your active participation. Any questions, I can take it forward. So I have my own co-presenter, Dr. Gopakumar, Dean of Humanities, who is one who has given a lot of input on making this presentation. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us how to be prepared and focused in implementing NEP successfully. Now the forum is open for discussion. Dear participants, you can unmute or you can put it in chat box. We can take it. Yes, Madhumati ma'am.
You have to unmute her, ma'am, Madhumati ma'am.
Madhumati ma'am, you can ask.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It was really a great session, sir. You have given us a lot of points for preparation for the coming years. I have one question, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have one question, sir. For the teacher preparation, presently teachers are not given permission with the heavy workload to attend different FDPs 1 week. 1 day they will allow. 1 week FDPs, 15 days, fortnight FDPs or sessions like that. Teachers are not, the faculty is not given. So with the blended learning, it requires a lot of time for preparation. So what would be the workload on the teacher for such kind of preparation? That would enable her to, or that would enable the faculty to prepare to reach to the expectation of the student. Thank you.
Sir, you can take up.
Madam, the policy says right now the teacher workload will be reduced, but they are not mentioning how many hours and all that. And plus, right now, this online education is going to supplement specialized courses and all that. So thereby, there will be a reduction in the teacher workload. That's my understanding about the policy.
Yeah, for the teacher to get to know different links or different sites, or that would be applicable to that particular session which she teaches, she requires a lot of time to prepare or search online. So she should have that knowledge. So for that she requires a lot of time. So if that facility is given, I think the teacher preparation will be excellent.
We understand. Yes, sir.
With the permission of Edward, sir, the NEET, National Educational Alliance technology, that will be helping us in building. But there again, as Professor mentioned, right, as a third person, right, we have no idea about the processes. Only through the document we are getting what is it all about. I think that part is explaining that this NEET will provide the educational software training for planning, preparation, and implementations. So we have to wait and see what is there.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, to add upon with Professor Gopakumar, at the institution level, if you want to, you are not allowed to participate in any program or any seminar outside. At the institution level, you can organize your own seminar for your own faculty. For your own faculty, you can organize. So that way, every faculty can be part of this particular professional development program. So it is not for an outsider. Only for your own faculty, you can only organize. Instead, you are informing your faculty to participate in other programs. So yes, probably you can have your flexibility in timing. You can have in the evening, or you can have in holidays. So you have your own flexibility in timing, and you can have for your own faculty. Instead, you are telling your faculty to participate in other institutions. So that will not fit in your timing. So you can organize for your own faculty. That way, for your institution also get benefited. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Any questions, chat box, ma'am?
Sir?
Any questions, chat box?
Yes, sir. Any question? No. I think it's posted in the chat box. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. You can
Okay, ma'am. You can.
There is no question. You can end that. So, on behalf of everyone, I take this opportunity to thank the keynote speaker, Dr. Aloysius Edward and Dr. Gopakumar AV, for preparing us to find a new way to bring changes in the country through the powerful tool of NEP. And we hope and foresee that NEP implementation through electric model is going to be electrified in empowering the lives of youth. Thank you, sirs. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
I also thank each and every one for your active participation and listening. Thank you once again. Let us join back for the last keynote session on pedagogical reforms in higher education at 4 p.m. Thank you all.
Ma'am, all of you can open their video.
Yes,
so that we can take a snap. You can take photo.
Yes, sir. So, dear participants, we request you to keep your camera on. We will take a few pics.
You can click.
Yes.
And ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So all the participants are requested to log in back at 3:45 for a 4 p.m. session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.